Palooza.
WWE fans, welcome into the Backstage Jabronis. He's Daniel Snyder. I'm Jeremy York. We are the tag team champions of all things WWE media. We are going to talk about so many fun things tonight. But before we do, as always, how are you, tag partner?
Always good. Always good. Kind of looking forward to this weekend. I think it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah, because here locally we got the Fried Pie Festival. And if you have never been to that, boy, it is the biggest shindig outside of Lollapalooza. No joke. Come eat some delicious food that is probably not good for you, but it will not stop any of us from doing it. And then there's a local wrestling show like a mile up the road from it.
Sounds
Aimless
interesting.
plug. Yep. Premier All-Star Wrestling for anybody who wants to know. But lots we want to get into. But first, I know you got a chance to catch some of this, but I just had a few notes about Worlds Collide. Let's see. It was a good showcase. I thought the last one they did was actually a little better, Triple Mania or whatever. I thought it was a more solid show. But the few things that I thought really stood out with this, the new Natalya, the way they are pushing her as kind of this MMA killer slash veteran wrestler kind of thing they're doing, I really like it. Although the thought did occur to me, are they pushing her as the next Ronda Rousey-like person? Does she take the Ronda spot with that? Have you kind of noticed?
I mean, I don't know. I was thinking maybe taking place of Shayna. Was that her name? Shayna Blair
Yeah,
or
Shayna Baszler.
Baszler? Yeah, maybe something like her because I believe they've released her as well.
Yeah, it was a month or
Yeah.
well, no, it was like 4 months ago. About a month ago is her 90 days were up. But I know I like Natalya with this because she gets this look on her face, like the bull that's about to charge and take you through the wall. And she flips a switch in these matches where it almost looks like she's really mad, but I'm not sure if she's just trying to show that she's mad or if she's actually mad. Because there are a few times it looked like some real punches were raining down on Fabi Apache, and yeah, Natalya's not the one I would want to make mad.
Okay. And then of course Dom got him a second title, two
He
title
did.
Dom.
He is now the AAA Mega Champion. He beat Hio del Vikingo by pinfall. He did have his friends at ringside. I will let it go at that. It's still worth watching because it seemed like the whole match. I don't know if Vikingo is injured and he just went through the match anyway, or he was just having a bad night because he is always full go, guns blazing. And it seems like Dom was having to wait on him throughout the match and almost pulling him through the match. And that's not what I would have expected by Vikingo, who's one of the best in the world and just nonstop can go for 20, 30 minutes at a time. And it seems like he was just like stopping to smell flowers instead of like wrestling Dom Mysterio. Dom put on a great show. It's one of the best Dom matches I've ever seen.
Which lets me think that Dom dropping the Intercontinental title will be here soon, and he will transfer
He'll go to
strictly
Mexico
to AAA
until Liv comes back, and then I think they may go back and forth. Or this will help legitimize it even more because this blends AAA more into WWE. Because the tag champions from AAA are actually Legado del Fantasma, the Garzas basically. So it's blending them together. But good matches all around. Beyond that, Finn Balor versus Mr. Iguana is hilarious because they both have puppets. And Finn shows that he actually has a personality, which a lot of people don't think he does. He actually has a fantastic personality. But another solid show from them.
I'm gonna have to start looking into it just so I have a little bit more back and forth. But
Hey, and it is free on the YouTube. So, and you can watch the Spanish broadcast, which I did watch part of because it's just fun. I understand wrestling, so I pick up Spanish words because I know, they'll say a word and go, "Oh, that must mean body slam." Like, why? Because that's what he just did.
okay.
So
But
I
this,
do watch part of the Spanish broadcast, but it is free in English or Spanish. I think through the WWE YouTube.
I'm gonna look into it next time, possibly. It depends on
That
what I'm
thing.
doing.
I know you saw clips and matches of another feed, but that's why I was letting everybody know YouTube. That's where I watched it. But that leaves us to we thought this time around because we kind of buried the lead here. This is show number 50 for the Backstage Jabronis, and we had thought about throwing some ideas around and some guests and things, and then WWE up and put and created a pay-per-view to go head to head with AEW, who has since moved their show to 3 p.m. as opposed to 7 or 8 p.m. that night because it's not worth it in the long run, and AEW
Going
will actually do better at having the earlier show.
Yeah, and going against Cena versus Lesnar, that might have been what scared them a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably one of the matches that did.
I think it's a full
Plus,
card of of good matches though.
yeah,
I'm impressed with this card. The
some great
first one,
returns,
the who?
some great returns.
Yeah, yeah. The first one that stood out to me, um, the EO versus Stephanie.
Yeah,
So this is also where I felt like WWE dropped they dropped the chance to really showcase their women's talent because I feel like what they should have done because they could have eventually led to this as the match.
oh,
What they should have done was grabbed a handful from Raw and a handful full females from NXT to showcase some of them and made a tournament. And because it is a vacated title, instead of just taking the two number one contenders, let's go ahead and make these two still work for it. And at that same time, they could have seen. I think Jada Parker is one of them. That's a superstar on NXT. I think she
yeah.
could have did something up here. That one chick that was I forget. Like I said, I don't know a lot of their names, but the one that's in that came from TNA 2 years ago, that was part of the Rumble, and then she signed.
Jordan Gray.
Jordan Great. Yeah, I think bringing her up would have been, I mean, if not full time, obviously, but just okay, this is what it looks like up here. Let's see you compete with some of these guys. Let's let some of these people on Raw see what they're missing on NXT if they're not seeing NXT. This was a chance that they could have done this with the tournament. Instead, had absolutely no lead into this. There's
They
nothing,
panicked.
no. They did, but they
They
didn't have
panicked.
to. They didn't
No,
have to. I felt like they could have got. There was a
there's
whole
a
month.
month since we
Yes,
found out the
a
title was
whole
vacated.
month.
An
You could have
entire
did
4 or 5 weeks.
Yes, you could have two matches a night that could have broke
Yeah,
down. You could have had an eight person tournament, two matches a night, and eventually
or
EO and Stephanie.
to change it up, use a little bit of a TNA idea. TNA does this kind of weird stuff, and it actually works because it actually works on the independent scene too. You have that battle royal, like you're saying. You have a battle royal or something, and when it gets down to the final four, you freeze it. You draw numbers or however you want to do it, and the final four become the semifinals. Can be on a different night. You
Yeah,
do
it could have
one
been a
week,
whole
you do
bunch
the
of.
battle royal, you do the semifinal, then you do the semifinal, and then the final is on this here. And that way, like you said, the battle royal can feature people across all three platforms. And then the semifinals, like have, let's say Lola Vice from NXT, who's also been in AAA some and all, but let's say Lola Vice from NXT. You get EO and Stephanie, and then you get Rhea or Roxanne or whoever else you want to push. And that way, you're featuring these people that you're trying to get people in front of because I think Roxanne is one that when people actually realize how good she is, she's going to
Yes.
be your favorite.
Roxanne was one that when I seen her at the Royal Rumble, I was like, oh, I like her. And then they brought her up the Raw, and I'm like, and she's good. So
Yeah.
that's what they dropped the ball with this. Also, they've made it too obvious who's going to win this match.
Well,
Let's be.
no, I can make an argument either way.
You can make an argument, but this is how I look at it. If EO was good enough to keep the title, you would have never took it off of her. Why would you have took it off of her in the first place? If EO was who you wanted carrying your title, you would not have took it off. She's
I
got a
think I
lot
think
going.
her title run was coming to an end. They were looking at what they were going to do with it, and Naomi gave them the perfect outlet. Actually, Naomi would still have the belt right now because I think
Z,
she would have beat Stephanie in Paris.
I might would be. I think I would think that too. They wouldn't go take it off for her that quick. But see, I feel
No.
like Naomi was something that they had to do because they had no other idea what to do. I don't think Naomi was the first plan for that because they didn't know Io wasn't going to get the recognition she's getting. I think Naomi was supposed to take it
Yeah.
off of Trish, and
Out
it
of
was
respect to Naomi, I don't think she was plan A. I think she was plan B. I do think she was the second plan, and I'm going to reword it that way for a lot of reasons. But I think
and, it's, and I think she was a
she was
plan
the
for SmackDown. I truly believe that she was the plan for
I
SmackDown.
think so. And then they got the idea that wait, this actually works better. Let's take it off of EO. Let's let's branch off and have the EO Rhea stuff going on. That way we can bring Kabuki Warriors back in, and Naomi can continue to push this and really showcase what she can do.
And the reason I think Stephanie's going to win also is because you're seeing, I think Asuka and Siri or Kaya, what's her name?
Kyrie Sane.
Yeah, Kairi Sane. That eventually is going to lead into a thing with Io and Rhea. So that's going to be a whole thing over there. You're not going to put the title in front of that. That's its own monster. With Stephanie winning here, you can have matches against anybody, and this is going to be an opportunity to possibly bring up some NXT people that she's had good matches with down there before she was brought up as well. So I see Stephanie walking away, and I see possibly Asuka being the reason that Io loses, because that's going to start that rivalry. You already see it happening.
I just almost for the same reason I think Io is going to win, and it's nothing personal to Stephanie. I know how good she is before she got to WWE, before NXT, before all that. I've seen a lot of those videos, and it's phenomenal how good she actually is. The thing
Is
they run into with both of these women is not their in ring skill. It's they both
and
struggle with English on a microphone.
I feel
and and
Stephanie's
and it's
better.
nothing personal to him because you can work around that. EO's whole title run, you just don't have her talk much. You don't need to. She says everything in the ring. Stephanie does the same thing.
Rira,
Um,
Rhea, however she
yeah,
says it.
she,
Rira.
I don't. I still think she speaks better than it's like Asuka. I think she speaks better English than she plays up on TV, but it doesn't matter because the in ring is what matters here. I just feel like to complicate that storyline even more with Rhea in the Kabuki Warriors, and I think there's going to be one or two more pieces involved in that. I just think that they don't think Stephanie is ready for it. This is the test to see if she's ready at the top, or if she's just going to kind of hang out and build herself up, maybe a Royal Rumble win or something like that. I just, for some reason, think they're going to put it back on EO. Kind of for the writers are just lack of ideas. They're going to just go, well, let's just pretend Naomi never happened for now. Like that, like her whole thing was just a hiccup, and that EO's title run is actually just going to kind of continue, and we'll sprinkle in the rest. I think this is more on the writers than who should actually win.
Well, I mean, who's more over?
It's debatable.
Yeah, I guess so. I just feel like I feel like Stephanie almost has the Jey Uso bump,
Yeah, yeah.
and they put a bet on him, and he didn't deserve it. Speaking of Jey Uso, the Usos will be going against Bronson and Braun. It's it's
At least one of us is a Jay fan on the show.
I think I'm gonna like the evil Jay better than the good Jay. Um,
Is he
I'm ready
evil,
for him.
or is he just finally getting smart in his elder years, kind of like Roman, to go? I'm not necessarily good. I'm not necessarily bad. I'm just going to start looking out for this guy instead of putting myself in front of everybody else, helping defend everybody else, and all I do is get my butt kicked every time that happens.
Well, I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to do to come out doing the little thing, and then when they say one more time, he gets up and he goes, "Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm ready for that." Um, the Usos lose here, and it's going to be because of LA Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bronson and Braun. It's either going to be because of LA Knight or Jay. might not turn on Jimmy, but there might be something that causes it to happen. There's gonna be something, but I feel like Bronson and Braun's gonna win this.
You see, I was all prepared to say that the Usos should and could win this, but then it does no good for Braun and Bronson.
Because they've already
They
lost. That'd be back
they
to back.
need it because Seth has ever since the whole injury angle that I'll admit he got majority of us with, not you, but he got majority of us with it. He's kind of taken the reins from the group, and he's like way ahead of them, and they're trying to catch up, and they're just not there yet. They need some kind of bump. They had to put the Usos back together just to try to help out Braun and Bronson because they're not really getting over as henchmen or a tag team yet, and they need to.
So who you going with?
Oh, Braun and Bronson, like I said, they gotta have
So we agreed on that.
it. I like the LA Knight idea. I do think Roman or LA Knight or somebody is gonna help out with this. I don't think we see Paul Heyman yet. I think he's gonna continue to stay out for a minute. Um, or I mean, there's a fourth or a fifth member of that faction. I mean, even though her match is probably right after that, I mean, that's not to say that Seth or Becky don't come down and get involved somehow.
I think that we could see Solo possibly come and help Jay and them out. Because Solo stepped back seeing Jay might be coming to the dark side.
I was about to say, what if Solo comes to help Jay? Not Jimmy,
Yeah.
Jay.
Hey, but
We'll put
since
it out there.
there's something I don't want to miss on this, I see we have 8 minutes left. Let's go down to the what's going to be the last match of the night first, then we'll make our way up. Let's
I
do the
heard it may
Cena.
not be.
I'm gonna tell you why it's going to be the Cena Lesnar. I'm gonna tell you why it's going to be. So this is Cena has no more TV appearances left. All it is pay-per-views. So
Oh yeah,
whoever,
it's all well, no, one Saturday night main event, but
well, no, I'm talking about there's no more Raw or SmackDowns. So
right.
whoever he faces next is going to have to be the one that builds it. So because Cena's not going to be there to argue with him. So Cena wins this match. Cena will beat Brock Lesnar. And as he's celebrating his next and possible final boss, yes, will
Oh,
make
you
an
say final
appearance.
boss?
Possibly. Could The Rock be his final boss? Whoever he's going to face will
I
make.
hope not.
I hope not too, but
I don't want to see that at all.
whoever it's going to be, I'm thinking Chris Jericho. I'm thinking
No.
he's under contract till December 20 something. But there's whoever is next is going to make an appearance. I've heard rumors of Dirty Dom. They want to see him and Dirty Dom. I think that would be a great match.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's why I'm thinking Cena
If
wins
so,
this.
that is your torch passing. If that match happens, that is WWE and or John Cena going, that kid is the next money.
And I'm okay with that. He
Yeah.
already did it with Logan Paul.
Yeah. And
So
Bronson, he's done it with Bronson or not Bronson, with Braun.
yeah,
I
so
forget Bronson's real name.
I'm thinking he beats Brock Lesnar. What do you think?
I think Brock wins.
You
Um,
how we keep having him lose in his final matches? He doesn't need it.
I agree with that, but why in the world would Brock Lesnar come back just to lose to John Cena?
I think he's coming back just to face John Cena. He wants to
Yeah, I
be in
think
that
so.
line. But I don't think he's gonna beat him because it does
Here it is.
because then
He is gonna lose to Brock Lesnar because, like you said, whoever the next player on the board or the last player on the board is gonna be for John Cena is gonna make an appearance and cost him this. Whatever it is, maybe it's somebody from his past that just haunts him. It could be, who knows? It could be something. There's not really a crazy free agent out there, but it's going to be somebody that's going to just haunt him enough to cost him this. Maybe it's
and
R-Truth.
Could be, and they've got to be good enough where they could make the match without John being around.
Yeah.
So I got
Uh,
I got John Cena and you got Lesnar.
yep. And
So
I agree. There's a new player on the board.
where do we go next? We going to the Seth or we going to the Cody?
Um, to quote the Father Son Wrestling podcast, who are friends of mine, and everybody should go check that out after you listen to this show. Father on there said that he keeps saying that when Drew McIntyre kicked Cody through the announce table, that he kicked that stupid neck tattoo straight off his face. I hope he does that in this match. I just Drew needs one of those, just, lack of a better way to say it, kick the backside of Cody, just wipe the floor with him. Drew needs it, so I'm going Drew on it.
I was going to go Drew also. I agree. I think Drew McIntyre wins this match. He takes the title home, and it frees up Cody to go back to finishing up filming this show, filming Street Fighter.
Yeah,
That's why you haven't seen Cody, and I think they've come to
or
the
Roman.
conclusion, or who? Yeah, Roman, exactly. And see, I think
There's
they've
like
come to
there's like half a dozen people in it that people would know.
yeah. But I mean, I feel like they've come to the conclusion like we've got to get this title off of him because we're not seeing a world champion. Cena no longer has it. I don't know why they even took it off of Cena. That was so stupid.
I still think Cena gets it back before the end of the year.
Maybe Cena versus Drew after Drew takes it from Cody.
And then Cena faces his final person in December, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with
I
that.
like that.
So Drew, we both got Drew, and that leads to
Look, that
CM
match is
Punk.
gonna be fun. CM Punk AJ Lee versus Seth and Becky is gonna be fun. I am
This
a
entire
giant homer
card's
for
going to be
AJ
fun.
Lee. I like everybody involved in this match. It's good to have AJ Lee back. She's not just here for a one-off. They've
She
talked
signed a
about,
legit contract.
yeah, they've talked about that maybe she takes the title from Becky, which is fine because that makes Lynch up into put her and Bailey back into the main title picture like they need to be. The new Bailey character is something we can get into next week, but this is going to be fun. More than likely, Punk and AJ are going to win, but somehow Becky's going to take the loss because Seth is the reigning champion. You can't have him with his back on the mat.
This is what I think. I think that whoever gets the pin leads to a title match for that person. And that's why AJ Lee is going to be the one that
AJ
pins
Lee.
Becky. And she's going to get the title off of Becky later down the road, possibly at Crown Jewel in Australia.
Okay, you see that?
So um, I don't think Bronson and see, I'm going back because I want Bronson and Braun to be a part of it, but I want something to happen to where they're beat down to where they can't. So there's got to be something that happens because they're not just going to sit back and watch Seth and Becky lose.
Who would? I mean, LA Knight's one, but you'd have to have two people that would come out and take them out. LA Knight's one by himself. It'd have to be somebody else, and there's not really anybody messing with them. Although, who would be fun if they took them out would be if it was JC Mateo and Tala Tonga.
That would be interesting. That'd be very
We've already
interesting.
had Solo come over in that match anyway and kind of bleed into it. So why not have Solo tag team come out and get in the middle of it to knock Braun and Bronson out of the way?
And if you want to be honest, that could kind of help lead to Survivor Series where the Vision and whoever they want to pull into it against the
Yeah.
family. I don't know. It's very interesting. So I got Stephanie. You got
Yep.
AEIOU. We both got Bronson and Braun. I
Yep.
got Cena. You got Lesnar. We both
Yep.
got Drew, and we both got CM Punk.
Well, we both have AJ Lee. If
AJ
CM Punk
Lee.
has something to do with it, good for him.
Yeah. We got less than a minute. The new Bailey where she was coming out there hugging on people. I was like, oh, look at this, she's
Well,
back, and then she lost
it's
her mind
it's
in the
the
back.
all over the place.
Yes.
It's the voices in my head, and then it's like she's hugging random people at ringside, and then she's gonna you're gonna see this just all over the place character,
We'll talk more on that when it comes.
which
All
will
right.
probably be this week.
Yes. That
But
was fun.
everybody Everybody watch Palooza on ESPN if you can figure out how to. That's what we were discussing before we got on here.
Yeah.
And beyond that, this is another great edition, the 50th. Congratulations on us hitting that milestone, the 50th of the Backstage Jabronis. He's Daniel Snyder. I am Jeremy York. We will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses. Go watch wrestling.